So, one, it is intimidating. You ever read a legal document or tax regulations? How many times do you have to go back to it? How many times do you start reading it and put it down, say, I'll get to this later? Two, it wastes time. Not necessarily your time, but the people you're speaking to. People spend extra time trying to figure out what you're trying to say. And if they don't have time or they don't want to spend it translating, they're going to tune out. And guess what? It makes people less likely to want to work with you. Three, it's vague. It's vague, confusing, and causes misunderstandings, making people less likely to want to work with you or support you. And two, it makes people, four, it makes people suspicious. Your goal as a writer or speaker is not to hide your real meaning, but to make it clear. So you'll work to use fewer abstract terms, usually jargon, and more concrete terms. Plain language. So people have learned not to trust this type of language, and they've learned not to trust the person delivering it. And guess what? It makes them less likely to want to work with you if they don't trust you. So finally, it's annoying. You know, if you've ever found yourself speaking in jargon and annoyed yourself, you know it's annoying. Or if you've ever been listening to someone deliver those types of speeches, or where you just couldn't or just didn't feel like keeping up with deciphering everything they had to say, or you've met them at a networking event, you know you really wanted to move on as quickly as you could. As I said, in the days of the university as the ivory tower, members were part of an elite and isolated society, and jargon for jargon's sake worked, but we no longer live in that world. We have to build partnerships. We have to gain outside funding. We have to work, or we have to and want to work with communities and market our work as socially relevant. To do that, we need to be clear and plain spoken. So the use of jargon should be spare at best, and especially not for a general audience. There are times when you have to use specific terms specific to a field, but more than likely it's not as often as you think. And you need to explain those specific terms in your field. So networking, community, and professional, the marketing that is needed for it have become almost as important as the work it could support and encourage. And so ask yourself, is it really your goal to impress only your peers? Or can you combine the goals of impressing your peers with the work you do while making your work accessible to everyone? How often do you need to make outsiders aware of what you are doing? Well, we do every day, all the time. How often are you talking to someone in the media or community who could help you, fund you, or more importantly, who needs you? When you look at your websites, will someone who needs you be able to figure out exactly how you can help them with a quick glance?